So when you say the man code, or you're absolutely right, it's called concealment of murder. So if someone asks you, what happened tonight? Was there a fight? Did you know that there was, Natalie, like if they're investigating or interrogating Christopher Walken, right? Well, Christopher Walken, you knew Natalie Wood was on the boat, right? Did you see her husband throw a bottle at you too, like in a street fight? And then when you heard Natalie Wood screaming and yelling and being beaten in a room next to you across the hall, what were you asleep? Were you under the influence of alcohol? You know what I'm saying? Like normal police detective work would have caught all of them. Not all of them, because they would have just had Wagner. That's, again, what makes the case so fascinating. It's like you thought you had Wagner, then everyone thought it was Walken, then everyone said, what about the captain? Well, maybe she really did hit her head, and they made a movie, The Mystery of Natalie Wood, in 2004, Bogdanovich, and she fell off a boat like a circus and a clown, like, whoa! Like she fell out, and I was watching these things in my research, and I'm like, again, what's going on? We keep going back to that same theme of like, remember, I'm in shock too. So don't think I'm not Nancy Grace in that regard of like, oh, here's what happened, guys, at 8:58. No. I go on a feel. I'm spiritual about it, right? What does Natalie want? She wants justice. It's about like, look, Robert Wagner is 88 years old. Do we need to put him in jail? Does it really matter? I don't know.
No,
What about Christopher Walken? What?
Well, they put Bill Crosby in jail, and look how old he is.
Right. I mean, does it matter? I mean, how about we tell the story of Natalie, of the beautiful side of her life, of everything that she was. Give her her funeral. Give her the closure. They never had that. And when these people came after me, everyone always comes after me in Hollywood, like they're all like scrapping, locking horns with me, okay? When they want to just cause all the beef about Natalie Wood, I said, wait a minute, we're getting away from what it was. No one's made any money anyway. Like, let's just reveal the murder. Well, we can't say the murderer. I'm like, well, because there's only one murderer. Dennis Davern did not kill Natalie Wood. Christopher Walken did not kill Natalie Wood. Christopher Walken maybe knew what was happening, listened to it. He's right there. I can't fully judge what he's thinking, okay? Dennis Davern's watching it. Okay, he was actually Natalie Wood's bodyguard and babysitter for 8 years. So point at him. Yeah. That's who we need to look at. Okay, and the story and the script and the movie and what told the story about like Dennis and in love with Natalie and through the captain's eyes, it was fascinating. It was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf meets Cape Fear. That's what we looked at. It was claustrophobic. Okay, but anyway, back to it. So let me just quickly give the closure. Is that okay? Can I give the post now?
Well,
Can I go post? Or do you have any other questions? People have any questions?
I got one thing I'm going to say is I remember Christopher Walken at the time. The more you talk, I think he said that he was passed out. That's what he told the authorities, if I remember right. Tell me if I'm wrong. And that's why he didn't know what was going on.
I'm sure he probably said that. And I don't care what he said. And I don't care what Robert Wagner said, and I don't care what Dennis Davern said. And when the Coast Guard came and they could have called it, they had the spotlight, they could have turned it. So we're not going to do coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? We can't turn the clock back 37 years. I can't. And it messes with me like karmically, like I can't. Like there's some things of this case and some of my other projects that I have that really mess with me like inside. They really do. Like there's this like strange like war going on inside about should I solve it? Should I rat this person out? Did I go rogue? Am I really a whistleblower or am I anyway, getting sidetracked again. Let me go to the post now because this is important. So Natalie Wood drifts away 2 miles. She ends up in a cove. Okay. They don't find her yet. They have to call in a helicopter. And that's when Natalie said, I want my body flown off this island. And that relates to the helicopter Easter egg. Okay. The helicopter spots her on the boat. When they find them at 1 a.m., they come out, the harbor master and a friend or someone else is there with them. And we don't know. Okay. Oh, what's going on? Get on the boat. They take them ashore, right? Where's that? We don't know. And whatever they told those two guys at that moment, not many people know about what they said to them ashore. Okay. So now Natalie's drifting in the water, right? She's basically dead. She's probably dead after 60 seconds. I mean, how long can we not have breath? 30 seconds. She's now unconscious. She's floating out there. She's got her socks on, the jacket's on, makes it look like she's Oh, she was going ashore. She didn't want to drive the dinghy. She never drove it, ever, not once. She was afraid of water. That was part of the prophecy from the gypsies. She will die in dark waters. And that was the name of the movie project, Dark Waters. Okay? And so she's now gone. Now it's over. And they're ashore. The police come. There's no investigation. What happened, RJ? Was there a fight? The police actually asked at one time, was there an argument? Everyone said no. Okay, so like they kind of tried to investigate it, but then it was, and Robert Wagner's in Heart to Heart, and Christopher Walken's a superstar. Davern is the easy target, and also the vulnerable naivety, whatever the word is. He's like, I have no idea. Like I don't know what happened. Like, so all three of them feign, idiocy, and nothing happens. The case is closed immediately. There is no trial. There's no arrest. There's nothing. There's no file. The only reason there was a file because the civilian investigator made a file and shoved it so far up the police's you-know-what, like nonstop for like 10 years, like 15 years. Her journey was so long. It literally was like 20 years. And I related to her. I understood her story. I was like, you won't get off it. She's like, I can't get off it. She wouldn't get off it till it was solved, till it was literally done. And it never has been done till tonight. And it's pretty much done. And people will be skeptical. The chat room, I love you people in the chat room. Keep it coming. Question it. Love it. If you have something to put to it, do it. It's like I said, it's not about me. So they find it. They cover it up. There's no case. Police close the deal. It goes dormant for 10 years. Robert Wagner, bribes Dennis Davern to live in his back house and not talk and don't say anything. And there was going to be a book, and then they put him in Heart to Heart, and they make him an actor to oh, you want to be in SAG? And that's a beautiful thing, an enticing thing, I guess. So yeah, it covers up, and that's it. And that's what brings us here today. And also in 2009, 2007, there were different bursts of where Natalie Wood's murder was going to be solved. It actually was. It's actually been solved. It's in a book. It's in the book, Goodbye Splendor, Goodbye Natalie. It's on page 206, whatever. It actually does reveal the murder. Okay, so it's I'm not revealing something that's not already kind of in the, I just kind of added in, the fully, where no one wants to fully reveal that. So we have to bring closure and conclusion to the story. It can't just keep living in when they were on Dr. Phil, that's why I was so surprised that Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil, looked at Dennis Davern at one time and looked skeptical. And I was watching the video, I'm like, he gets it. And of course, Dr. Phil's a genius, right? I'm like, oh, he gets it. He doesn't believe anyone up here. And he's looking at them. He's like, well, Dennis, what do you think really happened? If you were there, and I'm like, he gets it, but they'll never say it. And that's why they say, oh, well, he's going rogue. He's controversial. Well, he's a whistleblower. Whatever. It doesn't matter what you term it. It's just about getting it out. So it goes dormant in 2009, 07, 09, 2011. The book comes out. The death certificate changes. There is a push. Someone else had the producing credit, and they were doing the project. And it didn't happen. And now it's been bigger than ever. And the story was just huge news. It has something 600 million views, on the story, the articles, all the stuff on Radar and all over the web, and in the Dr. Oz, like I said, did a special. And so it was a long journey, and I feel like this is the end for me. This is the end of my journey on Natalie Wood. And I tried to sell it, and I tried to make the project, and I tried to tell her story in an artistic way, and that's maybe my fault, or my failure was that. But I gave, again, I go back to that movie and that character, Jan Schlickman, I gave my whole life and all my effort to solving her murder. And it wasn't about putting people in jail. It wasn't. I just wanted people to have closure and heal them, give them healing. That's what it's all about in the end. So
well, Todd,
I'm grateful to have it. Yeah, good.
Why haven't the authorities arrested him? I mean, regardless if he's 88 years old or 90 years old or 70 or 50, why haven't they put him in jail, charged him with a murder, put him in prison? Like I said, Bill Crosby got nailed from things that happened in the past, About the same time frame. Why haven't they? And Bill Crosby was probably just as famous, if not more famous, than Robert was. So why is Robert still walking around?
I think even when I quote movies, and it's an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, and there's like this journey about like what's the truth and what's not. And like I said, I wasn't there in 1981. I could never say it. And I'll be honest, and I know some of my partners right now are proud of me, what I'm doing. They're proud of me to say that. Like, I wasn't there. I'm not a know-it-all. I tried to know it all on this and some other stuff, and, like, I don't. I can only say what I learned from the whole journey, And so my point is, the police and the civilian investigators, they tried to, but they can't. And how are you going to prove it? There's no forensics. It's 81. There's no cameras. There's no DNA. The body's kind of, she has some bruising. Look, whatever side of the fence you're on is how you're going to paint the picture, right? So RJ's attorney got away with for so long, and he called us scumbags. He called me an imbecile, or not an imbecile, he called us degenerates or something like that. It came out in the tabloids, and these people are really despicable. That's the word. And RJ was on the attack, and he had closed down people's deals, and he made like an interesting phone call at like this weird opportune time, and he had fate and destiny on his side. He had 37 years where the police couldn't prove it for 37 years. What was going to make a judge convict him now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you guys going to introduce now? I don't blame the police. Would you?
Well, I
don't think they're to blame, right? Like,
no, I don't, but I'm going to jump in. Michael, as attorney, why haven't they, from what we heard tonight, why haven't they charged Robert?
Well, I think what we're talking about here is, Todd's investigation over this long period of time, and then putting two and two together with his forensic capabilities and his ability to put, feelings together. And I think that there's still that lack of a smoking gun that could be shown to a jury. That's my opinion at this point.
You mean the proof?
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of hard evidence that does not seem to exist, other than the fact that Todd has gone, above and beyond the call of duty in putting all of the nebulous things together.
Well, so it would take one of the other witnesses to come forward and basically be a man and say what happened that night. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, and that's going back to the man code, right? But none of us can control, like, the police and the law. So, like, if they want to arrest Robert Wagner, they should, right? Like, if they're going to chase after, let's go after Dennis Davern. No, use Dennis Davern to testify against Robert Wagner, period. Christopher Walken, no one's going to blame him because he passed out or fell asleep or he can feign innocence, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, right? Like, I don't know. So I think it's always pointed at Robert Wagner. So just focus on him. And if Davern did something, he can probably cut a deal. And like, he's set up that's how it was set up. I mean, look, I didn't take on the project. Like, I'm not stupid, like I knew like, oh, there's going to be some legal issues here. Obviously, like, whoa, is this slander, libel? And they never would let me write. I could never write in the documents, Robert Wagner killed Natalie Wood, and Christopher Walken knew about it, and Dennis Davern watched it. I could never say that. Like, the lawyers would say, if you say that, we're getting sued. And that's what they hung over all. There was another producer before me. They hung that over their head early on. Like, they squashed them. The problem was, when I got on the project, and people that know me, like, I pretty much like bulldozed through it. So it was like they're firing shots at me, but I'm like kind of absorbing them. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is going to give us some more press. So anyway, I guess we missed Mount Shasta.
I did. We got 2
so
minutes. Okay, we got like 2 minutes left. Good. If you want to plug anything right now, you got 2 minutes to plug it.
Well, we missed the Mount Shasta thing, I guess, but maybe another time.
Well,
but look, I really appreciate. I really appreciate it. You have any other questions about Natalie Wood, or everything is good with?
I don't. How about you, Michael?
No, I think that was a riveting expose right there. So I appreciate you coming on, Todd, and giving all these details, which I had no clue about. and I was immersed in Hollywood during that period of time as well. So I commend you on your investigation and what you've come up with so far. And yeah, indeed, if there was a way where people could follow up with you